Here are my top 10 best Pokemon ROM hacks for you guys to check out and play in 2023. Let's go. Pokemon Crown. This game is probably on a lot of people's radar since it's gone kind of viral, but Pokemon Crown puts you into a totally new version of a Pokemon game. It is a ROM hack, so it's playable on emulators and mobile, but what is the game about? Well, the game is set in a medieval period of time where a long-lasting war has been taking place. But that isn't where the game actually shines, even though the story is good. The best part is the totally new gameplay system introduced in Pokemon Crown. You no longer do the turn-based combat that you do in normal Pokemon games. Instead, the game has now you battling in the style of an auto battler, similar to something like Teamfight Tactics, where you place your Pokemon in different positions on the battlefield and they attack each other on their own accord. This makes for a very unique gameplay style, but that is not all. The game also features a PvP mode, so you can play online against your friends and others. The game also has new items, a new catching mechanic, and a totally new custom UI, and a whole quest system for you to enjoy. Plus, the game is pseudo open world, so you can sort of go around and do whatever you want in whatever way you want and order you want. So if you want to go in and check out a brand new journey in the vibrant world of Pokemon Crown, then you definitely should. Pokemon Scale and Fang. This is a brand new ROM hack that you guys will definitely have fun playing. And for a fact, it does feature a completely new story, and it breaks away from what we're used to with Pokemon ROM hacks. In Scale and Fang, you explore the Okai region, as you enjoy the custom soundtrack and encounter many new Pokemon. So if you're a fan of the Fakemon that you've seen in other games, well, you can enjoy and rejoice that you'll be seeing some of that stuff here too, as the game also includes Fakemon and new evolutions for existing Pokemons from the official game. So if you do not like Fakemon, don't worry, there's loads of regular real Pokemon here too. The game also removes the IVs and natures and the stat boosts stuff and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of removed, so the game is more simplified and easier to play through, and you don't really have to think about stuff like that when you're playing it. And loads of improvements in general have been done to the game's battle engine, as the goal is for you to just have a more of a better enjoyment of the game that is similar to the more recent releases of the Pokemon games. You can also have an apartment in the game which you can decorate, and you can also enjoy riding around on your own moped to traverse different kinds of terrain, which is very different from other Pokemon games. And yeah, and again, thanks to the Poke Pager, you don't need to use HM moves anymore. Overall, Scale and Fang offers you a unique and cool new experience that I think is definitely worth experiencing. So get right into it and go into the world of the Okai region right away. Pokemon Wally Quest. Have you ever wanted to play as the young buck Wally from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald? Well, then you are in luck, because Wally Quest exists just for you. I actually covered this game over in a video on our other channel, Ruffle Rowlet Plays, in case you want to go and see a full playthrough of it. But the game allows you to take on the role of Wally from Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, and you get to play through a version of his journey where instead of Brandon and May being the ones saving the day and saving the world, it's instead you as Wally doing everything. The game also starts you off with Wally's original starter, aka Ralts, and has you going around and doing things a bit differently. And even your starting town is going to be Petalburg instead, so keep that in mind. But yeah, things are a tad bit differently done here than what you did normally back in the original games, as you get a somewhat different story, but it still has callbacks to the original and of course loads of new features to enjoy and play around with. Basically, this is a version of the Pokemon world, of the Pokemon universe, where Wally is the main character. So if you want to play as Wally, go and check out Wally Quest right away. Pokemon Sword and Shield Ultimate. This is the next game on our list, and here you get to play through a Game Boy version of the Galar region and the Sword and Shield games. You have the whole map of Galar to explore and the same story and history as the Sword and Shield games from the Nintendo Switch, with all the Pokemon up to Generation 8 being available for you to capture. And also the inclusion of Mega Evolutions is also here, so you have Megas basically in Galar here. The game features new moves and also new graphics, and of course, it can't be a Gen 8 game without Gigantamaxing and Dynamaxing, so that's going to be available as well. And as I mentioned, since you pretty much have all of Galar to explore in this game, that also implies that you do have the wild area as well. So you can go to the wild area zones, which are somewhat open world, and go through those as well. So if you felt like you didn't have enough of Galar in Sword and Shield, or simply want to re-experience the region from a different perspective, and of course in a different style, while, then this may be the game for you to check out. Pokemon Emerald Rogue. This is another game that we covered over on Rowle Plays channel, which I would definitely recommend checking out. But the game Pokemon Emerald Rogue tries to bring that roguelike experience to a Pokemon game. If you don't know what a roguelike is, it's a subgenre of RPGs where you go through dungeons that are randomly generated each time, and if you at any point lose or, die or faint through them, you're reset back and your levels are reset and everything. And guess what? Pokemon Emerald Rogue is no different. In this game, you get to go in and try to make it as far as possible you can through these different runs and different dungeons. And as you try to get progress through the game, if your whole team faints, you lose and reset, but you keep some small amounts of money and stuff, which you can then use to upgrade your home base, where you can buy stuff and buy buildings to improve your chances on your next run, so you can go as far as possible each time. So yeah, this is a very unique game, as it's very different from most of the other ones you will find on this list and really out there for Pokemon. So definitely give this one a try if you want something a tad bit different and of course more challenging that will test your skills. As like I said, each time you go in, it'll be randomly generated. The maps will be randomly generated, and also the Pokemon you battle and all that kind of stuff is going to be randomly generated. So your chances can be all over the place, but go in prepared. Pokemon Ultimate Fusion. This is a game for those that just love Pokemon fusions and can't keep themselves away from playing every possible fusion game that exists. Well, in Pokemon Ultimate Fusion, you'll find that your starters are going to be, well, two different Pokemon fused together. And when you go into the world, you'll find tons of unique and custom-made fusions that were handmade for this ROM hack to make sure that they all look really cool and unique instead of just simply being randomly generated, all of them. That can happen. Those are existing games. So you will definitely see some totally unique and different fusions that you won't find in any other Pokemon fusion game. So if you want something new, different, and of course with fusions, then make sure to check out Pokemon Ultimate Fusion and go in and you might be pleasantly surprised. Pokemon Rocket Redverse. If you ever wanted to be the ultimate evil guy, then this is the Pokemon game for you. Pokemon Rocket Redverse is a new take on the role of playing as Team Rocket. There exists a lot of games, but this one's a bit different. You play as an evil version of Pokemon Trainer Red that has now joined Team Rocket, and you get to hop around and go through a more dark storyline, as well as the most awesome feature, you get to steal the Pokemon of anyone you run into. So if you ever want to steal a Pokemon of a gym leader or of a random trainer, or hey, you want to just steal one of Gary's Pokemon or Blue's Pokemon, then guess what? Go ahead and do it, because that's something that this game offers. And also, it offers you loads of other stuff. The game is feature filled, so if you want to just experience something a little bit different and something that's a little bit stranger than your usual Pokemon game and maybe a tad bit more evil, then Pokemon Rocket Redverse might be just for you. Pokemon ROWE. This is another project and ROM hack that we've covered over on Rowle Plays, and in ROWE you get to play through the regular Pokemon Emerald, but there is a massive twist that makes things a lot more interesting. The whole game is now open world instead of the usual. And what this means is that you get to explore all of the Hoenn region in whatever order you feel like. And you can actually decide where you start from, or you can decide for a random location to be chosen for you within Hoenn. And from there on, you are given instantly surf, so you can go surfing around without actually using a Pokemon for this. And there are no HMs needed to make progress in different areas. The game just lets you simply walk around and do whatever you want in the region, one step at a time. Or if you want to go directly to a new place, then you go there. But you have to, decide from one point to start. So if you start from the Elite Four, then guess what? You're going to have to make your way all the way from the Elite Four, all the way around the map, back to all the previous locations you would have gone to, because not everything is unlocked right away. You have to unlock the other places just by traveling to them, like you would in a normal Pokemon game, except you are given Fly and you're given Surf and all this kind of stuff already from the beginning. It is a truly unique game and has loads of quality of life features and updates to just make the game run smoother and better overall, and it just is going to be for a great journey. And if you guys want to give this a try, then I definitely think you should, because it's a really sick game. Pokemon Voyager. If you're looking for a fantastic game with an awesome story and tons of features, then Pokemon Voyager may be the game for you. In Voyager, you are in a region that has suffered a cataclysmic event, and now you live in a town or a city where your parents are either in the police force or one of the gym leaders of Andromeda City within the Keplara region. And as you make your way through the region, you can capture up to 76 Fakemon, as well as customize the game's difficulty into different options. If you want to play a randomizer, a challenge run, or even a Nuzlocke mode, all those are available at the beginning of the game, so you can decide if you just want to enjoy the story or if you want to make the game more of a challenge. So you pick what you want. If you want a story focus, then you got that. Either way, you also have a custom battle engine that makes the game similar to Generation 8, plus rotation battles from Gen 5 and Gen 6 are available as well. And you have the Battle Factory mode, which is a mode where you challenge the game with a rental Pokemon team. You also have to do Pokemon research as you encounter different species of Pokemon that the Pokédex doesn't even know you have, or have, like, it doesn't actually exist, right? They're not in the Pokédex, so you will need to register these Pokemon yourself instead, just like you do in Pokemon Legends Arceus, where you're making the Pokédex. Here, you're filling the Pokédex with brand new Pokemon that don't even exist within it. And that is just a small amount of the amazing things you can find in this game. There are over 60 different outfits to customize your character with, a charisma system, and even a casino and Pokemon pinball feature, which is just amazingly put together. And this game just looks beautiful. For a game that's based on like those old Gen 3, era games and Gen 3, engine, it looks fantastic with the improved tile sets. So jump into Voyager today, and we will be playing this in a video on this channel not too long from now, so make sure to watch that one when it comes out. Pokemon Distortion Black. In this game, you journey around the Xenon region, which is filled with mystery and strange things happening, with your ultimate goal being to find Giratina, a long-rumored Pokemon within this region. The game has a new graphic system that improves upon the existing Gen 3 graphics, and a new region, of course, with tons to do within it, and loads of Pokemon to capture within this brand new world. You even actually have some 2D side-scrolling parts in the game that change things up and make the game a little bit more different, and there's also some light-hearted and goofy and funny dialogue at some points to make the game a bit more funny to play through. But yeah, Pokemon Distortion Black, definitely worth a try. And that's it for the top 10. Make sure to subscribe if you need any further ROM hack suggestions in the future, and check out our ROM hack videos on this channel, and also our ROM hack videos on Ruffled Rowlet Plays. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.